my channel, or welcome if you're new here. In today's video, I'm going to show you some of my favorite leg/glute exercises that you can do at home. So all of these exercises will just be with either resistance bands or light dumbbells or body weight. So these are some great simple exercises that are actually really effective at targeting your glutes. When I do my voiceover at the end, I'm going to tell you exactly kind of what I'm thinking about when I'm doing each movement. So certain movements I'll be focusing more on my glutes, some will be focusing more on your hamstrings, and basically when you're doing resistance training, so training with weights or with bands, or even like a lot of body weight exercises can be resistance as well, because you actually are resisting against gravity and, you know, using your body weight as a force that is actually going to be able to build your muscles as well. So in all of these movements, what you want to do is really focus your brain on the muscle that you're activating. So obviously if you don't know what muscle you're supposed to be using in each exercise, that makes it a lot harder. So definitely listen in to this video, as I will be talking you through exactly what muscles are being activated and what you should think about when you're doing certain exercises. So we're going to start off on the mat just with some simple activation exercises. So basically when someone says activating, it means that we want to get the blood flowing through those muscles. You want to start to warm up those muscles before you load them with a heavier weight. So that's what we're going to be doing first. I have some resistance bands here. I've got a heavy one as well as a medium one. For some exercises, you will need a slightly lighter resistance band. For example, when you're doing like donkey kickbacks, it's a bit easier to do them with a slightly lighter resistance band. But when we're doing things like glute bridges, a heavier one's really good because you want to really feel that in your glutes. So we're going to get started with some of those, and then we'll move on to some more weighted exercises shortly. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoy this video, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye. Alrighty, so today we are starting off with some banded glute bridges. So here you can see I'm using a heavy resistance band and I'm pressing out with my legs so that there is tension on the band the whole time. This allows you to really feel it in your glutes. The main area of the glutes we're targeting is the back side of the glutes, so the gluteus maximus, that's the largest muscle in our glute area. But having the band on there actually also engages some of the side muscles, so the gluteus medius and the gluteus minimus. But those we're actually going to target now a bit more with these glute bridges with added abductions. So the abduction movement is that when you're at the top of the glute bridge, you're going to press your knees out and back in. And as I said before, this is going to target the sides of your glutes a bit more, so the medius and the minimus. These are the smaller muscles of your glute group. And what this is doing is strengthening those side muscles, which we don't strengthen as much with typical kind of glute exercises. So it's really good to strengthen those with those abduction movements. One thing you want to really focus on when you're doing this exercise is to not let your butt drop down too much when you're doing the abductions. So as you can see, my bottom actually does drop down a little bit, but a lot of people excessively drop their butt down, and you really want to engage your core throughout the whole movement as well. So now going on to these raised glute bridges, as you can see, my feet are raised up on the bench. And again, we are focusing on our gluteus maximus here, but we're also using our hamstrings. So that's the backs of our thighs. Because your feet are lifted, you're going to be engaging them a lot here as well. So this is a good exercise to do if you're going to be doing something like deadlifts shortly after, because you're warming up your hamstrings as well as your glutes. So it's a really good movement for that. As you can see here, I'm also tensing my abs. So all of these movements, you're also using your core for stability. Because you are lifting up off the ground, obviously you need to tighten your core muscles and use them as stabilizers so that you're not moving around in weird directions. You're nice and straight up and down. Alrighty, so now we're going on to our clam shells. This is similar in a way to the movement we did before with the hip abductions on the glute bridge, but this is targeting one side at a time. So this is a bit of a stronger movement for your gluteus minimus and medius, and you can really feel this one in the sides of your glutes. Here I'm just doing about 12 reps on each side, and you want to use a medium to strong resistance band here. All right, now we're going on to some banded kickbacks. So this is mainly targeting our glutes again, but as it is a single leg movement, it is a bit more focused on the one side at a time. With this one, you also want to focus on not arching your back too much. So a lot of people dip the middle of their back down really far, and you're actually then using your back muscles a lot more than your glutes. So here you want to focus on having a nice, relatively straight back. Obviously there's going to be a slight curve in your back, but you don't want an excessive curve, and you want to really focus on activating those glute muscles. So the back of your bottom, you want to really squeeze that as you push out. On to exercise number 6. So here we have some dumbbell split squats. I like doing these because I can really feel my glutes working with these ones. Obviously, your quads are going to be working as well because they're going to be stabilizing you, as well as your adductors and abductors. This is a really good exercise to improve your core stability as well, because obviously you have one leg raised, so you're using more of your core strength here than a typical squat. And make sure to do both sides, but I didn't film both. And now on to some banded hip thrusts. So you've probably seen people in the gym doing hip thrusts before with a big barbell and big weights on either side, but you can still do it at home if you don't have a barbell. And there's 2 different ways to do it. So firstly, as you can see here, you've got the banded ones. Then you can also do it with a dumbbell. So the main tip here is obviously to really activate your glute muscles. So they should be nice and warm if you've done some of those warm-up exercises, those activation exercises. And by this stage, you should be really feeling a burn in your glutes. You really want to squeeze your glutes as you press up. And think about putting your weight through your heels, not the forefront of your foot. So if you can see my feet there, they're actually slightly raised because I'm putting all my weight through my heels. And that allows me to really focus on working my glute muscles. But also with this one, you want to make sure that you tuck your chin down. So a lot of people can hurt their neck if they're not tucking their chin down with that one. So make sure you're tucking your chin in and your head and shoulders are staying nice and aligned with each rep. Now we're going on to some calf raises. So a lot of people forget about working their calves, and your calves are actually really, really important, because if you don't have much calf strength, you are much more susceptible to ankle injuries, and ankle injuries are surprisingly common. I've seen them a lot with athletes, but also just people that come to the gym, because females in particular don't really train their calves that much. So I do highly suggest doing some calf raises now and then, especially on your leg days. Now we're going into some dumbbell deadlifts. So with this movement, you want to be hinging forward from your hips. So it's not a squat, it's a deadlift, and you want to be able to feel a stretch in the backs of your legs in your hamstrings. So as I said before, with the raised glute bridges, that was a nice activation exercise for our hamstrings. And now we're really using our hamstrings. So as you bend down, you're stretching your hamstrings out, and then as you come up, you're tightening them. You're also going to be using your glutes here, of course, and your core to keep you nice and stable. But the main thing I like to focus on is my hamstrings when I'm doing a deadlift, because that's the muscle you really want to be targeting there. Now we're going on to some narrow squats. So this narrow squat uses more of your quads than the traditional squat, which uses more of your glutes. I just like to throw this one in now and then for a little change up. Variety is the spice of life, as they say. So with this one, you will be feeling it a lot more in your quads, but I still want you to focus on activating your glutes throughout the whole movement, because everyone wants to work on their booty gains, and the glutes are a really good muscle to strengthen, because obviously it helps you so much in everyday life. Like when you need to sit down or quickly stand up, your glutes are really, really helpful, and it's really functional to be training your glutes. Now we're going on to some goblet squats. So you've probably seen these done before with kettlebells, but you can also do them with dumbbells. So as you can see here, I'm just holding it at the top on the side, and that works really well. And all you want to be thinking about with this is just sitting back, and then you're squeezing your glutes the whole time. So sitting back like you're going to sit on the toilet or in a chair, and then you are standing back up and squeezing your glutes. All right, so now we're going on to the finishes. So these are the types of exercises that I do at the end of a glute workout or a leg workout to really, really feel that burn in my glutes. So banded squat pulses are really, really good for that. You can do them for 30 seconds. 3 sets of 30 seconds is really good. Same as with these squat jumps. So The squat jumps are a bit more cardio based than the squat pulses. The squat pulses, you'll really feel a burn in your glutes. Whereas with the squat jumps, you will feel a burn, but this is also going to get your heart rate up nice and high. So if you want to end with a little cardio burning glute sensation, then squat jumps is my go-to. Otherwise, if I'm just really feeling the burn and I just want to feel that nice burn and not too much cardio, I'll go for the squat pulses. Alrighty, so that's all the exercises I have for you today, but I just wanted to mention that after pretty much every workout, I will have a protein shake, and this recipe is up on my channel if you want to check it out. It's a protein coffee frappe, and it was amazing. And yeah, that's it for today. I hope you guys are safe and well, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.